Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday and welcome to Born to Shine, being brought to you by Genius Kids. I'm Miss Renu, very happy to be here. This is another great show being brought to you by Genius Kids where we spotlight young talent. And when I say young talent, they can be anywhere from kids ages 5 all the way through to youths 25. And we want to talent those who are doing something special, something unique, be it music, singing, art, dance, giving back to the community, whatever it is. Academics is great, but we don't want to focus on the academics here. We want to focus on the bigger picture. We want to focus on those kids who like to sparkle. And today we have that very special person. And again, like I've been saying for the last few weeks, I'm so honored because I had the pleasure of being this young girl's preschool teacher. And she just reminded me 12 years ago. And that's the reason why Miss Renu is here, because she's just feeling this gratification I cannot even begin to explain. So we're going to be speaking to Mahek Patel and her organization that she's founded. But before we do that, I want to begin this show because this beautiful young girl celebrated her 16th birthday yesterday. So from Miss Ira, myself, and all of Radio Zindagi and her family, we'd like to dedicate this song to you to begin the show. Go ahead, Miss Ira, let's begin.
पार्टी तो कभी से शुरू हुई है पर भाई मेरी तो एंट्री नहीं हुई है तू मेरे यार तेरे फ्रेंड्स तेरी गर्लफ्रेंड तेरी एक्स तेरी गर्लफ्रेंड का एक्स क्यों हो गए सारे जंगली क्यों हो गए सारे जंगली क्यों हो गए सारे जंगली हैप्पी बर्थडे हैप्पी बर्थडे हैप्पी बर्थडे आज जामा पकड़ के
Happy birthday, Miss Mahek. Happy birthday to you. Happy sweet 16.
Thank you.
Okay, so how does it feel to be on the show and being with your old preschool teacher, and the word old?
Feels great. I mean, it's like it's been so long since preschool, and it's all the like memories and stuff. They're faint, but they're still there.
Oh, I'll make sure they're not faint anymore. So let's begin by first saying, Mahek, so happy 16th to you. But what do you currently do right now?
Yeah, so I'm currently a sophomore at Notre Dame High School, and I'm involved in science research, working with different professors, researching different things about topics like immunology, microbiology. I'm also heavily involved in community service with my own nonprofit, Gracious Giving. And also I'm a part of a leadership group in my school, which helps students find service opportunities that they're passionate about. Because everyone's passionate about different things. Like I'm passionate about helping foster children, but others are passionate about helping homeless children and stuff like that. So it's just helping them find what they're passionate about. And I'm also involved in Bollywood dance. So I'm on my school's Bollywood dance team, and I dance with Gurus of Dance outside of school as well.
Oh, are you with Gurus of Dance, Aditya Patel?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, shout out to you, Aditya. That's your rock star. That's my rock star right over there. Awesome, awesome. My gosh, that's a very hectic schedule you have. Did you hear that whole list, Miss Ira?
Oh, I did. I sure did. So, Miss Renu, and also it does turn out that it's a small world, and all the genius people, all people who are doing amazing work are connected together.
Yes, it is. It
More
is
genius
wonderful.
people.
Yes, wonderful. So let me guess, from your subjects you picked, immunology and science, are you planning to go into medicine?
I want to go into biomedical research. So.
Okay, biomedical research, absolutely. And I think no better time than now after this pandemic. We really need all the help we can, all the research we can, absolutely. So, you know, a little birdie told me on Facebook a few weeks ago that you have this organization called Gracious Giving. And I know you post stuff and your mom was posting stuff, and that's what I noticed. So tell us a little bit about what is Gracious Giving?
Yeah, so Gracious Giving is a nonprofit organization which I created a couple years ago. And the whole goal is to help foster children by providing them with the supplies they need to be successful, such as backpacks, art supplies, protective face masks, and so much more. And so how we work is we reach out to different foster care agencies, ask them what the foster children need, like what are their needs and how we can best help them. And based on that, we create a personalized plan and then we go for it. We fundraise, then donate the supplies, or if they're in need of tutoring, we find tutors, give them tutors.
That's wonderful. So what made you think about doing this? I mean, so first let's go back. You said you founded this. So is this an official 501c?
Yeah, so we filed for our official 501c and we registered with the state and everything. So we're going to be tax exempt as soon as we get our letter from the IRS.
Wonderful, wonderful. And who else is involved with you in this organization? Is this an idea you had, or was it a group of kids? I mean, how did this whole idea begin?
Yeah, so when I was in middle school, I volunteered at a Christmas shopping event for underprivileged families and foster children. And over there, my job was to, regulate the whole process. And the children were allowed to choose 3 gifts for Christmas. And that was all that they were getting that year. And through this, I noticed that many of the foster children didn't even have access to some of the basic items we took for granted, such as clean toothbrushes and backpacks.
Mm.
Foster children moved from house to house like every month, and their whole lives were packed into trash bags, which was so heartbreaking to like see that. And then it was things we took for granted, right? Like suitcases. That's something we think, oh, that's like not anyone would need, right? But it's something we take for granted.
So
And
like you noticed that the kids would take their things from one home to another just in a regular white trash bag instead of a suitcase. Wow. You'd never think that era, right? I mean, we dump old
No.
suitcases all the time out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then did you come back at home and talk about it, or then what inspired it to go to the next level? Because most kids will think about it, feel bad, come home and get right back on, their cell phone. So
yeah, so like at the event, what really stuck out to me is I met this one boy, and he came in and he really wanted this one book. And he was probably 10 or 12. And then he really, really wanted that one book, but he couldn't get it because he was thinking about his brother, his little brother, who wanted a toy truck. So instead of getting himself this book, he got a toy truck for his brother. And he chose not to get any Christmas gifts for himself. And he was a toy. And it like really struck me that he gave up something for his brother. And it was such a little toy that we would have just, thrown away, or like if we lost it, we would have bought a new one.
Mhm.
So I went home, I did research on the foster system, and I realized the foster system was broken and it's overlooked because on paper, the system looks perfect, right? They get placed in a home, people take care of them. And it's one of the issues that not many people talked about. So I did my research, I talked to my parents about it, got their support, and then started the organization. It started off smaller with just me working on different events, like donating small things. And then I asked some of my friends who reached out to me, and they're like, we want to help out. So I started creating a team, and then we started expanding with more people joining in, and then expanding nationally. So we currently have one volunteer from Pennsylvania, but we hope to expand more and more as time goes on.
Amazing.
This thing, something I was just thinking over here, Miss Renu, when she was talking about this boy who really wanted a truck and then his older brother made a sacrifice. I was just thinking how many times it does happen that we want to get something, we can afford things, right? But still sometimes there are things that we push for later on, but we know that maybe later and sometime we might be able to get it. But with these kids, what Mahek observed and chose to do something about is absolutely commendable.
It really is. It really, because I mean, as I said, most kids would have watched that situation, felt bad, and then come home and just moved on with it. So now when you say you've expanded, you have a volunteer in Pennsylvania, right? Are you going to open little are you looking for people to open sub chapters of gracious giving in different states? And
yeah, definitely. So we opened our first chapter in Pennsylvania. We're working on one in Chicago.
wonderful.
The more people we can get, like the more impact we can make.
And are these kids like yourself, young kids who are opening these chapters, or are they adults?
They're young kids. Most of them are in high school or middle school who are opening these chapters because they too want to give back. I think with most of us, we want to give back, but there's just so much that we can do. We don't know where to start. But once we find an organization, it's so much easier to
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think most people, when they want to give away something, they just go, donate it and leave it somewhere. They don't really make an effort to find out who to go. So are you looking for money, or do you look for money, or do you look for things, or do you look for both?
Both. It really depends. Like if we host different events to fundraise the money. So we host like cooking classes, speech and debate classes, coding classes, whatever our volunteers would like I know I'm good at speech and debate, so I host speech and debate classes. I have other volunteers who are passionate about coding, so they'll host their coding classes. But also, like, we partner with different organizations like Access for Tech and organizations such as that. They they are passionate about giving technology away, or if they're passionate about giving school supplies away, we'll
Mhm.
partner with them and they'll give us the supplies to donate to the foster children.
That's wonderful. That's really wonderful. So, what are some of your recent projects? I know during Christmas you were looking for things. So, did you manage to give anything out? Did you manage to find enough things to give at Christmas? I mean, how many kids got those? I know you were collecting some supplies.
Yeah, so we partnered with Rebecca's Children's Services this Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
provided 70 foster children with Christmas gifts. And we got their list from the agency and we went one by one and got them their present. Either people would either donate the money or they would donate the gift themselves. And then this past summer, we partnered with Alternative Family Services and STAR programs, and we donated over 120 backpacks with art supplies and protective face masks. Because during the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
most foster children didn't have things to keep them productive, right? Like we have our various computers, TV, books, art supplies, but these foster children didn't have that many. So we decided to give art supplies so they can paint, draw, and use up their time wisely.
So,
And
Mahek, I'm
no,
sorry
go
to
ahead. No,
interrupt,
no,
Miss
go ahead,
Renu.
Miss Hero. Go ahead.
Uh, right now, when you mentioned pandemic, I want to understand, especially when you said, around Christmas and even now, when a lot of non-profit, a lot of, non-profit organizations are also pausing their operations because of the whole pandemic thing and, it might be contaminated or contagious and stuff like that. How are you functioning? How are you guys operating, keeping these pandemic norms in mind?
Yeah, so our main fundraising way before was in person, selling stuff, hosting big fundraisers, but now that's all turned virtual, which is
Hmm.
a good thing and a bad thing. In the sense, good thing we could reach more people, bigger classes.
Mm-hmm.
The negative side of that was it wasn't as interactive, not as hands-on, but it still worked out.
It worked out, yeah.
In terms of like sanitary wise, we wipe all the stuff, all our donations, we wipe, like sanitize them, and then before we donate them, we sanitize again. And all the agencies also have strict policies where you have to get temperature checks before you go in, as usual, and they also sanitize all our donations. So that way we haven't been affected too much in terms of we can still donate and stuff. We just had to change the way we fundraise a
Hmm.
little.
Wonderful. 16. She's only 16. For those who are listening in, this is our 16-year-old founder of Gracious Giving called Mahek Patel, who celebrated her 16th birthday yesterday. She's talking about the organization. She's looking to open chapters all over the US. So if you have a child that wants to do something, that wants to give back to the community, and you want some guidance, this is the person you need to connect with, because we would love to see Gracious Giving all over the world eventually and hopefully. So what are your next project? What do you need help in right now? For all the people who are listening in, what do you need help right now?
Yeah, so we're currently hosting our diaper and hygiene product drive. So we're trying to make this drive international and
Mhm.
partner with an agency in Brazil and also national. We want this to be one of our biggest drives because this is one of the biggest needs for foster children, hygiene products and diapers, because those are things that are necessary. They're super necessary, but they just don't have enough. So we're hosting a paint and sip night sometime in February. We don't have the exact date, but all the details will be on our website, which is graciousgiving.org. And we're also hosting a cooking class that will also be sometime in February. We're working with some professional chefs to see which ones can come in and their availability. So those are the kind of ways we're trying to fundraise for this.
Wonderful. So I'll tell you one thing right now. When you talk about diapers, what we have hundreds of diapers at Genius Kids. What age group of diapers do you look for? Like what age?
Yeah, so anywhere from like newborn to like
Mm.
18 months.
So you mean in Brazil there are a lot of children who are babies who are at foster care right now?
Yeah, so in
So
Brazil, there's
sad.
a big problem of having foster children, like the babies will just be left. They won't even be placed in proper agencies. They'll be let,
Literally dumped.
yeah, they'll be dumped, and then agencies will find them and then they'll take them in. And the agencies just don't have enough diapers to support all these little babies.
So how are you going to ship all that stuff from here over to Brazil? How is that going to be arranged?
Yeah, so we're trying to find a contact in Brazil. I know one of my mom's coworkers. We were trying to reach out to her, someone we know in Brazil who we can trust. So we would either send over like the monetary donation and they would buy the diapers themselves and donate and get proof that, you know, it actually went through, or we would ship them out. It all kind of depends on which connection we find, and there definitely are connections. We just
Right.
have to find someone we trust.
Absolutely. And for those that you're listening in, if you own I think it's called the UPS store, or any mail business, you know, this would be a great time for you to make a contribution. Maybe Mahek could bring all her supplies to you and you could package them for free and send them to Brazil. And that could be a contribution as well in some way. So absolutely. I'll tell you what, from Genius Kids, I will arrange to have at least 100 diapers, if not more, by Friday, arranged to be dropped off to you, as well as 100 masks for kids. That's
That
my
would
commitment to you.
That is amazing. Miss Renu, you know what? I was just now also thinking, when you start doing something like this, you know, even when you think about, or, you know, even when you're conceptualizing the idea of it, the first thing that people think about and, Arey, hum kaise karenge, or we can't do it, is how do we know what they want, right? How do we know what anyone wants? So this, Mahek, is there a way that, you know, how you decided this is the cause that you want to do, or you work
Yeah,
towards,
how are you?
or
Yeah,
this
how are
is
you doing
something
your research? Like, how do you decide? Okay,
exactly, or
Brazil.
how do you even pick projects? Like,
Uh-huh.
you know, sitting here, you're actually doing something in Brazil. How do you manage that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of research involved and looking at websites of agencies, and not all the agencies reply. Like I've emailed over 100 agencies by now,
Wow.
and only a selective amount will reply. And then a lot of it has to do with like their connections. Like most websites have testimonials or like they'll have things to let you know if they're reputable or not. And from there, like you just have to do, I think the main part is research. I research and also really reaching out to even some of the foster children, like foster teens who are in the system itself. Like that really helps. Like if you reach out to them and ask, oh, you know, you were in this agency, like are they reputable? Like how are they helping? Like what were your needs when you were in there?
Absolutely. And you do have to be very careful, because sometimes if you're sending them to, you know, to an agency, they may not even get to the right people.
True.
Wow, that's truly amazing. So let's go to your public speaking event, naturally, because Genius Kids are so big
It's
into.
all about public speaking.
I still
Yes.
remember you with your poems and your projects on stage. So you recently hosted a public speaking event. How important do you think the skill is? Because clearly you have the skill. You've come on the show and you're answering all these amazing questions at the age of 16. So I cannot even imagine when you hit your 30s how amazing you're going to be. But how important do you think public speaking is? Because these days, Meg, a lot of parents put so much focus just on the academics, and or even their extra activities will include only things that are very solo activities, and they're not thinking about speech. And debate is the last thing. It comes in college. So what do you think? Why do you think the skill is so important?
Yeah, so public speaking is incredibly important. And it's one of the fundamental skills that I think we all need, no matter what we're interested in, art, speech, or speech and debate. It's just something we need. And as you mentioned, like the focus on academics, like if we're so focused on academics, we still need to be able to communicate what we're learning, right? There's no way like knowing all the math formulas is going to help us unless we communicate that with others. It's all about communication.
And do you think this has helped you build your company and being able to reach out to people?
Yeah, definitely. Like throughout my life, there's been such a big like importance on public speaking. I mean, as you mentioned, since preschool, like I've been learning public speaking, and it's really helped me express myself and really get to my goals, because without public speaking, I would be incredibly held back. I mean, as the founder of the nonprofit, I have to do a lot of like communication, communicating with agencies, donors, and the scale of public speaking that I've gotten over the years has just been probably the one of the most important skills. and one of the skills I'm most grateful for as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. So when's your next session of public speaking, or when's you said you talked about a paint and sip night. Is that going to be, somebody's going to be teaching painting and drawing?
Yeah, so we're actually going to have an artist come in and teach painting over Zoom. And it's
Okay.
sometime in February. We don't have the exact dates yet, but all the information will be on our website, graciousgiving.org. So like, please feel free to check that out if you're interested. And like, we're also having a cooking class also in February. So if you're interested in any of those, you can feel free to check out our website.
So how much do people normally pay to participate in an event like this?
Oh, they're pretty cheap. They're around $5 to $10. It also really depends on how many people we're getting and what our cost is for the event.
Mm-hmm.
But we try and keep it as cheap as possible. So that way we also get more people, making the events more enjoyable, because yeah, it's for charity, but the events also have to be enjoyable, making our customers come back.
That is so
Miss
wonderful.
Renu, weren't we talking about a paint and sip night the other day? So what better cause than this?
You know, absolutely, absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I can paint. I can teach our kids how to paint and draw.
And we
But
can sip.
yeah, I would rather watch and sip. And
We should definitely try this.
And in one of your evenings like this, how much money have you raised, Mahek? Has it been like $100? Has it been, $200? What's it been?
One of the most successful events we've had, we've raised $500.
Wow. Okay.
And it was a 2-day event where we had like 2 separate events, but in total we raised $500, which was really impressive. And the community really came together to help out for the great cause.
And when are you expecting your 501c to come in?
Any day now. We filed it over 2 months ago, and like the IRS has been backed up because,
of course, yeah.
But it should be coming any day now.
That's wonderful. So for any of those, CEOs out there who want to do donations and you want to give something, this is the organization to give. I know we always think, of some of the large names out there, but these are the organizations we need to support our youth who are coming up with these ideas. So we have a few more minutes, Mahek, before you wrap up. So it's graciousgiving.org. What is your message to all our listeners today, and to all the young people out there who spend all the time kind of doing nothing really? And a lot of people who are sitting at home doing nothing. What's your message out there? I mean, how do you feel when you make a difference? When you do one of these projects, I know you probably feel really good, right?
Yeah, I mean, the feeling after like donating or like getting a testimonial or a card from a foster child, it's just totally different. Like you feel so grateful for it, and like you're really making a difference. And like everyone says like, oh, I want to make a difference in the world, right? But like once you like start and you actually start doing something, it just feels so good. And I would say my message would be to like really go after what you're passionate about. So if you want to help out the homeless, find an organization to work with, or create your own, or donate something small. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you start, because once you start, it's hard to stop. It's easier to start and keep going than to start, stop, and then like forget about it. Like once you're going to do anything.
That is just very beautifully said.
Miss Renu, we have 2.5 minutes left. I quickly wanted to also check with Mahek. See, of course, for those who do not know public speaking, number one should learn public speaking. But those who are, who still are unable to go out and be on the front side. So, how can people in any way get involved with your organization?
Yeah, so in any way, you can attend our events, donate when you can, and stay updated on our projects. Like, I think one of the best things you can do is stay updated on the needs of foster children and, see how you can help out in any way. If it is volunteering with us, or if someone doesn't want to come to our event, or they want to volunteer on an event, like that's great.
Beautifully said. And all I can tell you is simply, Mahek, I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud to say that I was your preschool teacher, and I hope I can continue saying that. Well, one day your company is going to be worldwide, and I can sit with my false dentures, put them in my mouth and go, I know that young lady, and I knew her when she was only 3 years old. Thank you so much for coming on our show. And again, for all those listening, graciousgiving.org, and they're also on Facebook. You can like their Facebook page, and you should be able to get notifications from there. It's Gracious Giving. This is Mahek Patel. She's too young for us to give out her contact information, but definitely you can reach out to me at renud@gmail.com or even Radio Zindagi, and we'll be able to put you in touch with her mom and her to be able to do things. So again, Mahek, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure, and I hope you had a beautiful birthday. And I will be reaching out to you after the show and telling you where I'm going to be delivering all these things. So the big need right now is the diapers you mentioned. And what was the other thing? Oh, health items, right? Healthcare items.
Healthcare items.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And God bless you. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm just beaming with pride. What can I tell you? Can you see me grinning from ear to ear?
Of course, we can see that. We can see that how pink you've become.
Yes.
So that's amazing, Ms. Renu. In fact, thank you for bringing Mahek on air with us on this show. And since we are wrapping the show up right now, I would like everyone to know that this show, this platform is there for any child, any kid that you think it has, is born to shine. Write to Miss Renu. Her email address RENNU Renu@gmail.com. And Miss Renu, like herself, is born to shine. She aims to bring any child over here who is born to shine, who's doing something extraordinary in any field. So do write to her and get us in touch with them.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Miss Renu. Thank you, Mahek.
Really quickly, and if anyone wants to know why we teach public speaking,
yes,
watch this clip. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Should also be on your website as one of your promos. Thank you, Ms. Renu, and thank you, listeners and viewers. Stay tuned to Radio.
Thank you, Mahek. God bless.